Oh, hey. Wanted to talk a little bit about finding inventory for your business. You have to do the work, right? There's a difference between sending out letters to zip codes for anything or driving neighborhoods. I advocate getting your butt out and driving the neighborhood. You do your research first, right? You're gonna do your research and pick out areas that you would like to work in. But sometimes the areas are not quite what you expect. But if you live in the area, then you kind of know what you're doing. But you still need to drive it, and especially when you're working pre-foreclosures. That way you get to see whether they're there or not. So today I'm gonna take you along. I'm gonna drive you around, and I'm gonna show you what I look at. Okay, so I just did a really small neighborhood. I had no idea it was on a lake. I thought it was lakefront properties. Oh, it was lakefront. It was more like pond front. The houses were this small, and people just basically bought the land and then got a mobile home and stuck it on there. Wow. Actually, if you wanted to do that kind of business, you could buy the land for $2,000, and then get a mobile home, a used one maybe, a nice one, right? And then you could do a little work around on the piece of land and then plop the thing on there and rent it out. Rent it out with option to buy, of course, or not. I mean, you could just hold it forever. Hey, whatever floats your boat. Not saying I wouldn't consider that, but I like the higher end stuff. Let me show you a little bit like what I'm talking about, what in terms of what you should be looking at. Okay, so check out what I'm talking about. Nice homes, nice places where you would want to live. So basically that's what I'm doing today. I'm driving my neighborhood. And do I put anything at the door? It depends. Later on when I go back to my office, then I'm lost. I am a little lost. But anyway, I'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah, so I like doing this. It's pleasant because sometimes I get out my car and I talk to people and I let them know what I'm doing. Like I just visited a community where I had to get in the gate, and guy asked me what I did, and oh my gosh, I had lots of things to say. So this is what I'm talking about. She's jogging, and that's the neighborhood you want to be in. That's the neighborhood where you'd want to put your wife in and walk barefoot out of the door. That's the neighborhood you want to be in. And look, there's a little bit of a lake there going on. Man, wait till they get a load of me. Okay, so now I'm leaving the regular neighborhood, and I'm gonna actually take you to one of my deals. All right, so just to continue as to what I was saying, the kinds of properties that you want to actually work on are the ones where you would want to live in. Now, that doesn't mean that you wouldn't want to live in something that's a mobile home. That's okay. That's all right. If those are the areas where you want to work, then that's fine too. Owners will gladly sign over their properties subject to. So I do all types though. I'll also do stuff that's in foreclosure, which that's my forte. Love that. Whether it's a tax sale or whether it's a mortgage foreclosure, it's all good for me. So I do that all the time. And what I recommend, with those, you kind of need to know a little bit more, which I will teach you in my other course, which I have yet to put out. But it's in the works, though. With the foreclosures, though, I would say you need a little bit, right? You need a little bit of cash saved up to do that, because you're gonna have to do some things with that. You're gonna have to save them. You're gonna have to pay them to get out sometimes, and sometimes you're gonna have to just basically make up the back payments, and it pays to look cute, you know. You drive these neighborhoods, you gotta look cute, because if you don't look cute, well, you won't get anybody to talk to you. And for me, all I gotta do is don't listen to me. All right, but in any case, you should look cute, just in case something happens to your car, and you know you gotta be waving people down and stuff. You don't want to be out there looking like they should just throw you out of their neighborhood. It really depends on the kind of houses you want, where you fish. And I would say when you're starting out, you should start with the newer neighborhoods, houses that are built from, let's say, 2005. It depends on what you can find and what your neighborhood says. You want to go to the tract homes, not to the owner builder type of stuff. It's the tract homes, man, because it always works. Always works. Subject to, but I want to talk a little bit more about finding homes subject to that are in default, and you can still take them over. So a student of mine was asking, can I still take the deed even when they're in foreclosure? My answer is yes. Absolutely. So yeah, you're gonna take it over subject to anyway. So before you do anything, right? Well, almost before you do anything. So you approach the owner says, yeah, I can't do anything, I need to leave, blah, blah, you know, or maybe he already left. Then all you need to do is write the contract and make the offer. Now, I like stuff that's upside down already. Absolutely no equity, because it's easier for me, because again, nobody has to say to me, oh, she took my equity. Nah, you had no equity. I saved your butt. So there's no need for you to tell me or to complain how you don't have equity and how you signed over the property to me with no equity. No need. There's none of that. So what happens now is that there's no equity, and then I just have to go to the bank. I like that because, again, the house is nice. It doesn't need any kind of repairs. So then all I have to do is just walk in with my toothbrush. So I'm writing the contract, and then the next thing I'm doing is I'm getting, of course, them to let me look at the mortgage. So I'm having them sign that with the contract, and I'm also having them sign my it's a disclosure, like an owner's disclosure that says, you know, you're in foreclosure, right? You're in foreclosure, and if it weren't for me, you weren't gonna be able to get out of this mess. So they signed that. It's something like that. You get that with my course. And, I talk to the bank, and I find out if you're gonna find out from the bank if what kind of situations they'll accept, whether it's a loan modification or a short sale. In my case, I sometimes just do a short sale, and then I turn around and do what I do. So I'm going to show you something that I do. Okay, so a student of mine asked me if he can take over a property that is a higher end property. Yes, of course. I mean, if you can get the deed, take it. But with those, you have to really look at your exit strategy first. Because if you're not going to buy it so you can live in it, then you want to test the waters a little bit. Left. You want to test the waters a little bit and make sure that you can actually get out of it, you know, and make some money, you know, because what's the point of getting in it if you can't do anything with it? Because hypothetically, you could take the deed, and whether it's in foreclosure,
700 feet.
whether it's in foreclosure or not, you could be in a situation where you are stuck with this piece of property. You put it on the market, and I'm going up into the hills, honey. All right, I'm going to show you one of my deals. All right, so then you can take it over, you know, and you could be sitting on it for quite some time, because they don't sell as quickly. You need professional help to sell those, and you need to market it, because the type of buyer that you need for that may come from outside of the United States, you know, and you're talking about an international buyer. You're talking about somebody who's finicky. That kind of money, they usually come that way. All right, nevertheless, you know, when you build up your clientele like I do, or you build up your buyer list, then what you will end up having is you will find people that you can go to every time. All right, so this neighborhood, well, I wouldn't say it's exclusive because I got in. But it's higher end, and because that's the stuff I like to buy, and those are the deals I like to deal in. I find them a better use for my time, because I am so busy running my brokerage and teaching you.
In 500 feet to your destination.
Then I don't, you know, then it's just a better bang for my buck. So that's why I do them, and you know, nicer money.
Reached your destination.
Nicer money. So let me show you. Okay, so it looks like I got some work to do with this overgrown trees and stuff like that. But anyway, that's my deal. And okay, so then you ask me, what do I do with the property after I buy it? Well, basically, you know, it's still a subject too. You know, just because these properties are higher end doesn't mean that they don't have issues too, you know. So I like it when they call me, and I like it when there's an issue, you know, there's a problem that I can solve, because that's how I work. It's easier for me. I don't have to beg for anything, you know. I just basically, they call me because I have a solution, and then I solve the problem. So that's what I'm about, you know. I solve the problem and then take it over subject to, just like the smaller home. And then if the case is where I have to short sale it, then I short sale and then sell. Or I can rehab. Don't like that, you know. I'd rather just give it to somebody else who's gonna rehab. Or I would in LA, where everybody wants to live in a certain area. Like, for example, I had a property in Malibu. An owner called me and said, okay, I'm willing to, he didn't want to do a subject to, but he said he wouldn't mind doing a lease option. So what I did was I actually it was very expensive. So I'm like, I'll get back to you. So what I did was I actually put an ad on Craigslist. I actually put an ad on Craigslist. And what I did was I got some calls. I actually got some calls from an author, you know, and I had another call from somebody who owns a dating website or something. I guess they're doing well. I looked them up. So anyway, they asked me, you know what, we would like to rent the property with the option to buy. And I'm thinking sandwich lease here, right? So what I did, so they said to me, what do we need? And I'm thinking, well, you know, how much money do you have? Because that's how I do it. I don't like to say, well, you need $5,000. Why say that when they would give me more? So I said, how much money do you have? She said, how much is required? I'm thinking, oh, this is great. So then that was the deal. I mean, I found somebody before I was able to lock in that deal. You know, and that's how, if you have to work with the higher end deals, because, you know, you don't want to mess things up and go ahead and actually take it if you don't have the clientele for it, or you can't work it, you know what I mean? So that's what you have to do. Okay, so I shop by property, right? Like one of the ways to search for any property, or for what your target property is by zip code, you know, area, neighborhood. In my case, I shop by the property, and I guess you could call that geographic, right? So so my properties, the properties I'm looking for, they could be in Texas, they could be in Florida, or they could be in LA, or they could be anywhere over the United States. And I like it because I get to travel, and secondly, I don't have to leave where I am until I get them to accept what I need. Sounds strange, but that's great. I love this business, man. It takes you everywhere. And I just came from a neighborhood that I would never be in if it wasn't for real estate. You go where you fit in, you know what I'm saying? And but it doesn't matter to me as long as I can make a deal. But in this case, that deal, I will do that deal. I will do that deal. Pick your deal, man. Pick whatever it is you want to do and work it. You know, it may not come to you right away, you know, as you're working, but you keep on going at it, because that's the name of the game, you know? And once you get a little bit more experienced and you start doing these deals and you start rescuing people like I do, because I like that, people get to know you and they get to understand what you do, and the next thing you know, you're getting deals coming at you, you know, and you may have to travel, like in my case, but I don't mind. Right now I'm in Texas and I ain't coming back. No, I'm joking, but it's so much fun to do these deals. I'm telling you, every day I'm just thanking God for my blessings and just being able to do real estate. And that's what I am hoping to teach you. So, you know, take a ride with me, man, you know, and see where it leads you, because it ain't gonna cost you much, you know. It's only gonna cost you if you don't know. And if you can pay a nominal amount just to understand how this thing works, and then put one foot before the other, I don't know, who knows? Maybe if you're really slow, you'll buy one property for the year. That's one property more that you didn't have. So you have to try. If you don't try, you won't know. It's so much fun. You should do this, really. Take care. I'll catch you on the flip side.